Hey guys, this is contextual geometry, and we are looking at chapter 6, section 5, and we're going to talk about right triangles. All right, so let's get started. All right, so first of all, go ahead and draw a right triangle, and let's label that bad boy. So I have a right triangle. Here's my right angle. This is called the hypotenuse. And these are the legs of the right triangle. Legs do not have to be congruent to each other. If they are, then it's an isosceles right triangle, which is kind of a cool thing. All right, so if we have two triangles and two pairs of corresponding legs are congruent, then we have a new theorem that we can look at. So let me get that picture out here. Right, so here are my two triangles, and let's say this is ABC and DEF, and this side is congruent and these sides are congruent, and there's my right angle. You can see that I would have side, angle, side with this 90-degree angle, so that's kind of a cool thing. So by side, angle, side, these are congruent. So here's the deal. If you have right triangles, you just need to check the legs. If I have corresponding legs that are congruent, I have two pairs. This is called the leg-leg theorem, which ends up really being side, angle, side. I mean, we see that, so that's awesome. And so let's talk about the hypotenuse leg theorem. The hypotenuse leg theorem says if I have two right triangles and the hypotenuse is congruent in the first triangle to the second, and then I have legs that are congruent. So let's say, well, let's do let's do hypotenuse leg. I got out of order. This is postulate 6.1. That's okay. And let's say these two legs are congruent to each other. Then my two triangles are congruent to each other. So if the hypothesis and a leg of a right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and the corresponding leg of another right triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So hypotenuse, remember the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. So the hypotenuse and a leg. Hypotenuse leg theorem, that's postulate 6.1. All right, let's talk theorem 6.7. Theorem 6.7 is the hypotenuse angle theorem. And it says if the hypotenuse of one triangle and an acute angle of a triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse of the other triangle and the corresponding acute angle, then the triangles are congruent. So there's the hypotenuse, and then let's talk about this angle. So I have hypotenuse, angle, and I already have this side so we can see angle, angle, side if we want to look at it that way. But this is the hypotenuse angle theorem. So if a hypotenuse and an acute angle of one right triangle are congruent to the other, then the triangles are congruent. And then the last one, theorem 6.8, is the leg angle theorem. And it says if one leg and an acute angle of a right triangle are congruent to the corresponding leg and acute angle of the other triangle, then the triangles are congruent to each other. So let's get our trusty triangles back out here. And let's mark a leg and an acute angle. So there's a leg. Those two are congruent. There's an acute angle. So by the leg angle theorem, these two triangles are congruent. So we can talk about corresponding parts of these triangles are congruent. So now I know the hypotenuse of these are congruent. My other acute angle would be congruent. So we can walk through every one of those as well. All right, so let's check out. Let me see if I can get this to copy over, maybe and possibly. All right, let's check out these problems off of this guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and snip this out and put it into our worksheet so we can mark it up. All right. Didn't copy over the first time, that's okay. We will not waste time waiting on that. All right, so let's look at the first one. The question is, which theorem or postulate should we use on this one to make sure that these triangles are congruent to each other? All right, so let's look at number one. I have this leg is congruent to this one, and this leg is congruent to that one. That's leg-leg theorem. All right, if you'd like to pause the video and try the rest of them without me, that would be awesome. All right, now that we're back, let's check out these other ones. So here's leg, hypotenuse. All right, so if you'll say those out loud, that will help a lot. So there's hypotenuse leg theorem. All right, let's check out number three. All right, do we have enough to determine this one? So I have an angle and, or excuse me, I have an acute angle. And do I have anything else? Nope, I just have an acute angle and the right angle. So I do not have anything else. So this is not possible to determine right now. Need a little bit more information. All right, let's look at number four, hypotenuse angle. So I have hypotenuse congruent to the other hypotenuse in the triangle, and then I have angles. Hypotenuse angle theorem. All right, number five, I have a side and the hypotenuse. So that is not leg-leg. I have hypotenuse leg though, don't I? So that would be the hypotenuse leg postulate. All right, so this is the hypotenuse. It's across from the right angle. Remember, that's how I tell. All right, let's look at number six. No hypotenuse on this one, but I have leg, leg. And then for number seven, I have leg, hypotenuse, or hypotenuse leg theorem. And then let's check out number eight. Looks similar to number three, but I have a side marked here. So I have leg and an angle, so I have leg to leg, angle, angle. All right, so I have leg angle theorem. All right, good job on that, guys. So hopefully that makes a ton of sense to you. We should be able to talk about now from here, let's just do a couple of these, which triangles are congruent. We haven't done this in a while, but I think we can do it. So let's look at number 8, and let's just take this first triangle and let's call it triangle MAP. You can write down whatever 3 letters you would like. Then the next one we have to make sure that they match. So M is my right angle, so I need to put the right angle first. A is this angle that's been marked once, so I need A again here. And then P is the unmarked angle, so I need the unmarked angle, which would be R. All right, so now you try number 7, and I'll go ahead and put a U here. So you try number 7, and let's see if we get the same thing. So go ahead and pause the video. Okay, now that we're back, let's check this out. I have TRU. You do not have to have the same thing that I do. So TRU is congruent to, I went 2 side to 1 side, so I need to go 2 side to 1 side, SRU. All right, guys, I will see you soon. This is Coach Lowe, and I'm out.